Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a radical new piece of tech that is fundamentally changing the way we track the invisible building blocks of our universe. We're looking at a breakthrough that sounds totally like science fiction, but I assure you, it is very real. Let's dive right in with a pretty wild question. How exactly do you track a particle that you literally cannot see? It's this massive puzzle that has honestly challenged the absolute greatest minds in physics for decades now. Section 1. Seeing the invisible, the challenge of elusive particles. To understand how we track them, we first have to appreciate the incredible challenge they present. We're dealing with weakly interacting particles here. Things like neutrinos or certain dark matter candidates. These elusive little guys pass right through ordinary matter without leaving a trace. Because they're just so unresponsive, they essentially force scientists to build these massive, highly complex machines just to catch even the faintest, most microscopic signal that they actually exist. Section 2. The PLATON detector, a radical new approach. While a team of researchers from ETH Zurich and EPFL just introduced a brilliant solution to this exact problem called the PLATON detector, what's really fascinating here is how PLATON completely abandons the traditional method of using millions of tiny segmented parts. Instead, it relies on one single, solid, unsegmented block of light-producing material. That block is then paired with a specialized plenoptic camera, highly sensitive Swiss SPAD2 photon sensors, and an AI transformer network for crazy fast 3D reconstruction. Section 3. How it actually works, from flashes to 3D tracks. Okay, so how does this actually go from microscopic flashes to full 3D tracks? Well, the crucial starting point is the scintillator. You can kind of think of it as a blank canvas. It's a dense, specialized material that reacts by emitting incredibly faint, tiny flashes of visible light whenever a charged particle manages to zip through it. That tiny flash, that is literally the only clue we get that a particle was there. Right, so to capture that unbelievably faint light, PLATON uses a plenoptic or light field camera. Now, unlike a normal camera that just records light intensity, a plenoptic camera utilizes a microscopic lens array to capture the specific direction from which every single photon arrived. It's actually amazing. It functions much like a fly's compound eye, allowing the system to recover depth and see the incoming light in full 3 dimensions. The process brilliantly illustrates the sequential mechanics of the whole thing. First, a particle hits the scintillator, producing that faint light. Second, the microlens array captures the light's specific angles. Third, the SPAD sensor acts like an ultra-fast stopwatch, precisely timestamping those individual photons. And finally, that raw data is fed into an AI transformer network to find the correlations and reconstruct the 3D path. This is so cool because it uses the exact same architecture powering today's large language models, but instead of predicting words, it's piecing together the path of a particle. The precision here is almost hard to wrap your head around. In lab experiments using a strontium-90 source, researchers tested the system, and it accurately tracked electrons relying on as few as 5 detected photons. Yes, just 5. By using gated time windows to filter out random background noise, it can literally map a path when almost no light is available. Talk about a game changer. Section 4. History of complex detectors, the bottleneck of modern physics. To truly appreciate this massive leap forward, we really need to look back at how old detectors were built. For decades, the standard approach required chopping the scintillator material up into millions of tiny active sections and then connecting them with an absolute web of optical fibers just to pinpoint a particle's location. But PLATON leaves the block entirely whole and solid. It shifts the hard work onto the AI and the camera lenses instead of relying on a nightmare of physical hardware. 2 million. Let that massive number sink in for just a moment. 2 million is roughly the number of individual cubes of sensitive material used in the T2K neutrino experiment in Japan, which also requires something like 60,000 optical fibers. Other state-of-the-art detectors at places like CERN and the Paul Scherrer Institute use millions of thin scintillating fibers. Manufacturing, assembling, and reading out literally millions of these fragile components creates a crippling technological and financial bottleneck as scientists try to scale up. Section 5. Scaling up and future uses, from abstract physics to human health. This brings us to the most exciting part of this explainer, scaling this technology up. When researchers ran simulations, the results were astounding. A small 10 by 10 by 10 centimeter cube of PLATON achieves a spatial resolution of less than 1 millimeter. but when we simulate a massive 1 cubic meter block, it still achieves a resolution of just a few millimeters, which is perfectly on par with the state-of-the-art segmented detectors being used today. It matches their precision while completely removing the need for those millions of tiny physical components. And because this tech is so insanely good at reconstructing the 3D position of faint light signals, it has incredible potential way beyond abstract physics. The PLATON team has actually filed 3 separate patents to use their 3D tracking technology and their AI in positron emission tomography, or PET, medical scans. By pivoting from microscopic physics to macroscopic biology, the researchers realized this exact same tech is absolutely perfect for tracking radioactive tracers inside the human body. This could lead to dramatically sharper, more accurate medical imaging for patients. This progression perfectly aligns with a long tradition of particle physics birthing everyday technologies that change the world. The pursuit of the invisible gave us the World Wide Web at CERN. Advances in particle accelerators paved the way for proton therapy. And now, in the near future, PLATON detector technology is set to lead to sharper PET scans. As the saying goes, particle physics has a long history of producing technologies that later find broader uses. It's a beautiful reminder that the quest to understand the universe's most elusive mysteries continually produces real-world benefits that impact our hospitals and our daily lives. Knowing that a tool meticulously built to track invisible dark matter could one day sit inside your local hospital, I want to leave you with this thought. What other everyday medical miracles are currently hiding inside today's abstract physics experiments, just waiting to be translated into the real world? It completely changes how you look at the pursuit of pure science, doesn't it? Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the invisible world around you.